So I'm currently mixing a couple songs, well, actually every song for my band Parasitic Embodiment's third album coming out. And I figured why not kind of take you guys along for the journey of some of the mixing choices that I have to make in order to kind of get this to sound the way we want it to sound. So today I'm pretty much mainly focused on the bass tone. I don't even have drums separated at all, routed out anywhere. It's just all this. The only thing that's been touched up is some of the blast parts have been automated, or not even automated, just velocity changed. And I think that's really it. Just because there's a couple like weird gravity blast parts that you do not want at 127. So yeah, let's just kind of dive in and see what we're working with for bass. So this is Anthony's bass tone that he sent me. I have a DI track here we'll look at. You know, this has already been kind of chopped up, edited the way I need it to be, kind of fixed to the grid to follow guitars and kick and all that fun stuff. So let's just kind of take a listen in a couple spots here what they're gonna sound like together. So that's both of them together. This is just going to be the DI, for example. And then this is going to be the distorted tone. So it's a pretty solid distorted tone. I actually really like it a lot. There's not a whole lot I really want to change about it. Just a couple EQ things to make everything sit a little bit more flush. But yeah, we'll just kind of mix in the DI where we need it. I've already lowered it a little bit so you don't hear it as prominent in the mix. You don't want to really hear strictly DI, but it's nice to have there as like an added characteristic. Just as a quick side note, that little part you heard was written fully with ingested in mind. So right off the bat, the first thing I'm going to do pretty much with any bass tone is we need to high pass at around 60 hertz just to kind of help take up a lot more of like that subby kind of low end. Sometimes I'll play with this. Sometimes it'll be 50 hertz. Sometimes it'll be 70. I just like to start at 60 as like a nice little starting ground. Obviously, the first thing you want to do with anything is just clear up as much mud as possible. Now, I'm not sure what he had for his settings EQ-wise, or if he's even EQ'd this at all. I believe he has. I would have to get with him about that. Most of the annoying top end, he's kind of already reduced, so I don't want to mess with that too much. I may pass it just to be safe around 5K. That may even just end up getting changed. We'll cut it at like 7K. It helps get rid of a little bit more of that fizziness, which we don't want that sparkling too much in the mix. So we'll come back and kind of like change some stuff here in the middle to get some of the low end back and a lot of the mud reduced more. But I'm pretty much going to do a similar setup on the DI track. But for DI, what we'll be looking for, once again, we'll kind of cut this. We'll raise this so we can hear it a bit better. And cutting top end out helps a little bit, but we do want a little bit more of the top end, so some of those notes are a little bit more clear in the mix, especially laying right next to all that distortion. You can hear it kind of refines it a little bit. We're trying to get rid of some of that flabbiness. We'll just do it like 4,500 for now. Like I said, we'll come back to this stuff and make adjustments as we need. You can hear the notes cutting through a little bit better with the DI active versus if we just have the distorted tone. So matched up with guitars, that's going to help it a little bit more too. Just one of those little things that helps bring everything in and glues everything together. And I've mentioned too that drums are not routed out, so there's going to be no way for me to properly sidechain bass. So that's going to come in a different video, or just even at a later time, even if I don't get the chance to kind of record it. Can't remember if I've really messed with the guitar EQ at all or not. So for guitar, it looks like I've just put a basic high pass at 80 Hertz. Could probably go a little higher, but since this is in drop A, I do kind of want it to have a little bit more of the boomy low end, but we can just we'll start at 300 and kind of cut a good portion of this out. What are we on, right guitar? So cutting at 300, a nice little big long cut there, helps bass shine through a lot more, of course, and obviously it gets rid of some of that boxiness that you hear. And it does make the guitar sound a little tiny bit weaker, but also keep in mind, we've got two guitars and bass, so it's not as thin as you may think it is. And if you're wondering why I'm using Reaper's EQ and FabFilter on the other one, it's honestly just because I started this project a long time ago, like many months ago, and I was using Reaper's EQ for everything, so I just have that punched in right here. But I'll probably just go back and redo it with Pro Q, to be honest. I mean, shit, we can do that now. Why not, right? We haven't EQ'd anything super crazy, so we can make the same adjustments here without going crazy. And I like to use nice round numbers to start to give me like a good bass area to work with. Even if we just take the visuals for Reaper's EQ. Versus Pro Q's. It gives you a better readout to be a little bit more surgical with things. So to save some time, I'll just copy and paste this onto the right track. And we'll just disable the Reaper's EQ there, re-EQ. And then reintroduce bass. You can even hear bass cut through just a tad bit more too, which is hugely beneficial. And then sometimes, depending on the bass tone, similar to where you just cut out from guitar. So we'll even go a little bit lower, 250, and boost it just a little tiny bit. Sorry, I like round numbers for things. Probably go a little lower. Might even just do a 1 decibel increase. And I may even listen to this 500 more times and be like, yeah, let's just remove all the bass. Not all of it, but you know what I mean. So yeah, that's that gravity blast part I was telling you about. I'll probably even lower velocities even more, just because it is kind of ridiculous. But honestly, I wrote it kind of on accident, and I was like, it sounds good. But when you use just like a standard blast beat instead of the gravity blast, after hearing it with this version so many times, it sounds way too slow. And we don't have a real drummer, so honestly, it kind of doesn't matter. So I don't want to give too much of this song away. Obviously, nothing has vocals yet. We're still waiting on those files. But I don't want to give away too much of the songs before everything's ready to be released. But I am happy to share smaller parts to kind of showcase sort of what we're working with. So I think that's pretty much all that I'm going to do for tonight. Only because if I keep going, we'll be here for like 6 hours. And I'm not even kidding. But I don't think I want to make everyone suffer through that because it could all be for nothing. I could spend 6 hours tweaking stuff and then 2 days later come back and erase everything and just literally start fresh. And that's happened many, many times before. So I may even continue this a little bit, sort of like a series, and kind of maybe, next time we visit this, route drums out, sidechain stuff, EQ things in the drum kit, little stuff like that. I haven't fully decided how far I want to go with kind of showing what I'm doing for this album yet. Not that I'm afraid to really show anything, but it's going to be a 10-song album and I don't necessarily want to focus on showcasing one song. If I did that kind of thing, it would kind of be like I'll show a little bit from every song we have, or most of them at least. But then I feel like I would have to do everything I'm doing in this video in 9 more songs, and then hey, we're doing drums and do that in 9 more songs. And then it would be like 500 different videos, and I don't want to make anyone suffer through that. So you let me know what you think I should do. If you'd like to see more on just this song, or if you think it would be cool to see bits and pieces of the other songs, or, some parts you want me to kind of showcase if there's something you're struggling with mixing you're trying to get. Maybe I could jump into one of the songs and showcase it there. But all that being said, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next one.